Now let's figure this out logically. Event night is tomorrow night. If somebody wants to host a good event, they need a good place, a good map of some sort. But where am I going to go? Where can I take my friends? This is a rather interesting situation here. I don't think it's going to really matter exactly where I go. Oh! Hi everybody, it's Dr. Detroit here, the doctor is in. I'm just kind of thinking about where I'm going to take my friends for an event. You know, one of the cool things about VRchat is that most of the time when you come on here, there's so many different groups. There's so many different groups of people, and also groups for like certain things. Like there's probably furry groups, there's probably groups for like people that are like Nardos or Datums or Rexiums or whatever the heck there is. But every now and then there's always going to be that one event that is going to be really fun. And events are pretty fun. You can host, you can go to a lot of different worlds, and entertain a lot of people. However, some people make some big mistakes when it comes to hosting these events. Because maybe it's your first time doing it. Or maybe you just don't understand, what people want to do. Well, in this special VRchat 101, I'm going to show you some of the do's and don'ts of hosting an event, and also tell you how you can make your event something to remember in a little segment I like to call Do This, Not That, Event Edition. Roll the intro. So you want to know how to host your own event in VRchat? Well, I'll tell you one thing. Hosting events in VRchat is one of the coolest skills to have, because it takes a little bit of improv, it takes a little bit of imagination, and a little bit of creativity. Now, at the time of filming this, I have yet to release the creativity and improv episode, but don't worry, that's coming very soon. I know, I decided to just release this, but if it's already out, then you probably know some of the stuff I'm going to talk about. Events can be anything here on VRchat, and they're a lot of fun to plan and to execute. However, though, there are a couple of mistakes that a lot of people make. Some of them end up killing the event. Other times, it makes the event really dull. So, for this one, I'm going to show you a couple of different things to avoid. That's why it's called a Do This, Not That edition. So, let's go to my red board, or actually, let's go next to my red board, and get on the ground right about now. Here we are. a slightly different approach and a slightly different camera angle, as you can see. And as you can see, we brought out the sorry pieces to basically illustrate this. So, if you are somebody who's going to be hosting an event, you'll see that you have all your different friends here, and there's probably friends from all over the globe. You probably have your jet setters, which are staying up really late to be at your event, depending on what your time zone is and what your country is. You might have people that are only on PC, which is cool, but they don't have the arm movements and stuff like you and I do with our headsets. You probably have people that are just questies, and then over here, let's say these are the folks that are just the forever and go loco mode. So once you have all these people together, it's always fun to create some sort of event, whether you want to, have a chill event, or watch a stream, watch a movie, or go play a game of some sort. But there's a few things to keep in mind, especially when it comes to actually planning. And I will tell you this, you gotta know what everybody is using, because remember how I said that one of these was actually just a questie? Go ahead and use this guy over here as the one. So let's pretend for a second that this person here is a questie only. Well, here's the thing. If the majority of your group is all PC players and PC VR folks, maybe people on the Index or whatever kind of headset or device you have, then it means that all of these people can go to any world that they choose. But questies can't even go anywhere. In fact, questies can only go to certain worlds that are for everybody. Sort of like this one that is my home world, which is the Cliff Sky House. You guys have seen it in every single episode of VRchat101 to date. So, sadly, these folks over here are going to be left out in the cold. What? Did you Okay. Jazz failed successfully? Okay. So they're gonna be left out in the cold, or I guess upside down. I'm gonna just leave that there because that is hilarious. So that means now you have to. Oh my god. So that means now you have to kind of change your idea and everything. This thing has me all discombobulated. Let's go to the red board really quick. Come on. There we go. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get this illustrated. So, hosting events can be a little bit daunting at first, especially if you've never hosted your own event in any capacity. Because believe me, when you're the event host, there's a lot of things that are going to fall on your shoulders. So let's take a look at this really quickly. Let's say, let's just see if we can get this right. So here you are, and you're the one that's hosting the event. So you get a nice little crown right here. There we go. Okay, so it kind of looks a little bit weird, so sue me. So, events can be pretty cool because, oh my god. So events can actually be really cool because they can be as many as just 6 people. Nice, 6 people there. Or it could be as many as 12 people. Let's go ahead and get them all in a row right here. There we go. So there's basically a dozen people. And here's you. Now, as the event host, it is up to you to decide exactly what kind of event that you want to do. Now, it's also good to ask the participants what they want to do. However, be very, 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 very careful, because sometimes some of these people want to do something that is extremely overused, such as playing Among Us for like the 1 millionth time, or going to Prison Escape, or maybe doing, I don't know, probably those MMO dance maps, you know, the ones that make your avatar dance to weeaboo music. Oof, I get some bad dreams from that. But here's the thing though. Just like how I mentioned with the Sari pieces, you gotta be careful. So we're gonna go ahead and make a couple portals here just to show some of the things. Oh my goodness. Can lag spikes please stop doing this? Let's fix that portal really quickly. Don't know why it's doing that. There we go. Okay, so at the top of every single portal we know there is always symbols that signal exactly, you know, what those particular worlds are about. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the blanks here. I'm gonna go ahead and fill these in really quickly. So there's one. There's also this. There we go. Let me get the green going here, because now what we're gonna do is this. I don't know why this thing doesn't appear as green. It appears as this weird turquoise thing, but you get the point. Alright, so when you drop down a portal to actually go, you know, take your friends to an event, here's something to remember. So up here, this means that this can be a PC and a Quest world. I'm gonna go ahead and write this, and I'm gonna go ahead and write Q. So this is a PC and Quest world. That means that everybody can actually, you know, go to it. So it doesn't matter if you're PC based or have PC VR or you're a Questie. You can actually go to it. So this kind of portal is for everybody, which is good. But then you kind of run into a problem because here, this is a PC-only world. PC-only worlds tend to be super big, and they tend to be a lot bigger than, you know, some other worlds, which is pretty good for you, especially if you are using a PC avatar, or maybe you're on your laptop or your personal computer or something like that, which is good for you. But unfortunately, Questies can't go there. The reason being is because many of the graphics and many of the things in that world are only PC based. So therefore, let's say some of these people are PC only, or let's say that some of these are actually Questies. So that means that X's out some of these people. So it could X out this person, maybe that person. And maybe, who knows, maybe somebody down here, maybe they have a problem as well. And maybe this person has a problem, or maybe the world that you selected is too laggy, so that edges them out. Which leaves only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 folks who can actually go to those types of worlds. One thing to keep in mind is to always ask first to see who actually is on what system, if you don't know already. Because that'll save you the headache, and it will also save you big time when it comes to changing worlds and things. And then, of course, you know, over here, this is the Quest-only people. Those are some pretty rare worlds where they're only made for Questies. And PC-based people like myself, or PC VR people like myself, can't go there. We would have to basically disconnect our PC and go on via simple quest. So that basically means that this brings all the Questies back into the fold, but then it leaves all these PC players, unfortunately, out in the cold. So now, all of a sudden, you lose part of your group, and now you pretty much just have nobody left to go with you. And no one wants to jump from world to world too fast. So, give me 1 second to erase all this, and I'm going to show you some do's and don'ts of PC, or excuse me, of hosting events. So for the magic of editing, we now have our lists. I'm going to start with the don'ts first instead of the do's, because I think it's better to start with the don'ts first, so that way you guys know exactly what not to do and what to do. Alright, so let's begin with it. So, here's the first don't. Lag world. If you have an avatar that you like to use, but unfortunately it causes a lot of problems, don't wear it, okay? Wear something simple. In fact, most people who have avatars either have something kind of special or flashy about them. Sometimes they have, features that like they have like a certain aurora that, takes place. But keep in mind that not every single world is going to actually work with that particular avatar. So make sure that you use a backup avatar. I'm not saying your fallback. I'm saying a backup avatar that you actually have in your arsenal. Also, don't go to worlds that have a crap ton of lag, because the minute that there's more than like 5 people on there, it ain't pretty. You're going to end up having a lot of crashing folks. So try to avoid those the best you can. Next up, changing worlds too fast. This is something that I've seen a lot. So here's an interesting scenario. You bring your friends to a world that you think, oh, this is going to be great, this is going to be exciting, only to realize that it's the wrong world. So that means you have to drop down yet another portal and take them to this place, and you got to go to this place, and you think, oh, wrong portal. So here it is again, here it is, yada, 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 yada. And then pretty soon at that point, everybody's just going back and forth till finally somebody crashes. And it ruins their evening. It's pretty bad. Because the thing is, too, not everybody's system is going to be up to par. Again, not everybody's going to have the state-of-the-art system that you might have. In fact, where the lag actually comes in, and where the disconnect often comes in, is when people's internet can go all discombobulated. Or sometimes some people's, let's see, how can I put this? Maybe some people's system just decides to crash right in the middle of it all. And you'll know when they're crashing, when all of a sudden they literally freeze like this, spawning into a world, and then all of a sudden this happens. Unfortunately, they crashed out. And now they gotta restart again, and then, they gotta find you, and then they gotta find everything else, and then it just is so stupid. So, yeah. Try avoiding changing worlds at all costs, unless it's necessary. Whether you want to go to a different world that has a different game to it, or maybe because that particular game world is broken. Because that can happen. Next one here, and this is extremely important, in fact both of these go hand in hand, is playing the same game 24/7 or being boring. How many times have you, as an event host, played the same exact game for every single event? Like, okay, let's say for example, you host, I don't know, you are the host of an actual group, and maybe you guys played Murder 4 one week, then you went to another game, and then all of a sudden you're back to Murder 4, and now all of a sudden you're just so hooked on Murder 4 that that now you've been playing it for almost the entire year. Well, let me tell you something. Variety is important. You want to make sure that you keep the others happy, because that's the thing. Not everybody's going to want to play Murder 4. Maybe they want to go to Audience Anarchy. Maybe they want to go to Karaoke and Sync. Maybe, let's see, maybe they want to go to the NASCAR world or something. Or maybe they want to play better Uno. Or, Kitchen versus Kitchen for all I know. Just make sure that you're not playing the same exact game every single time. Now, I do know some groups that actually play stuff like Wheel of Fortune for almost every single deal, but that's because there's a lot of variety to it. Most games are very much randomized. In fact, my good buddy Genesis, who actually makes a lot of the game show worlds like Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, Press Your Luck, $1,000 Pyramid, thank God, Super Password, and many of those other worlds, has been working diligently to make sure that you don't get the same puzzle or the same question every second. those types of worlds, like the game show worlds, are actually a lot of fun to go to. And if you know how to operate them from inside, chances are you can actually be the onstage host and host your own Family Feud or host your own Wheel of Fortune. Just make sure you have somebody as Vanna White, especially if you're going to do Wheel of Fortune. And being boring, I cannot tell you how many times I've been to events where the host is super boring, or it's like this. They sort of just look like, okay, everybody, so here we go. We're gonna be going to an event. Everybody, stay together. Okay, we're gonna do this, and hopefully you all will have a good time. Don't be like that. No. In fact, when you are the host, you're the MC. So you kind of need to, like, build them up a little bit. So, like, for example, let's say that you're in a world, okay? Let's go ahead and, like, put something here. So you're in a world, and all of a sudden, it's your turn to talk. So you could be like, hey, everybody, welcome to our nightly event. Tonight, we're going to have a grand old time, because first we're going to see who the murderer is in Murder 4. Then we're going to get our acting chops on and go to Audience Anarchy. And then we're going to wrap up the evening at a Vaporwave world, where we can just simply sit around, talk, and just, chill out. It's going to be a fun night, everybody. So, do not touch that dial. See that? You're going to have way more fun doing that. And it's also going to make you look better. Because here's the thing. Personality, improv, and creativity all go hand in hand. So make sure that you are not being a boring son of a gun. Now let's move on to the do's. The do's are relatively easy to figure out here. Listen to the players. So, let's go ahead and do a little example here. In fact, you know what? I know who we can ask. Just behind the camera is actually a good friend of mine. So, let's go ahead and do a perfect example. So, cameraman, can you tell us what game is going on tonight? Well, Dr. Detroit, I was thinking that we go do Murder 4 after we wrap up the filming. Among Us again? I'm getting a little tired of Among Us. Can't we do something different? Like maybe, can't we go to Jeopardy? You really want to do Jeopardy? Well, I guess that's okay. Anyone else want to go to Jeopardy? Oh, I like to go to Jeopardy too. Okay, there's one. Did somebody say Jeopardy? I'd like to go there myself too. There's two. What the? I'll take that as a yes. Alright then, everybody. To Jeopardy we go. So the majority have spoken. So, as long as the majority speaks, and as long as they are cool with it, then you can go make some great memories at a brand new world. In fact, that's the other thing too about randomizing. I actually did a little randomizing a little bit earlier, so we kind of covered that. Also, test worlds. Sometimes you find a really cool game, while you're exploring, and you think, you know what? It would be kind of cool if we could test this world for future events. And when you say that we're only testing, it's a good thing. Because if that world is truly a downer, or it doesn't work properly, chances are you don't have to go back to that world. Also, if it all fails, that's okay. That is okay. If you don't do well in your first event, totally fine. Just take what worked and apply that to the next event, and take what didn't work and toss it out with last night's sushi. And then the final two ones here, improv and explore. I just did a little bit of improv just now, thanks to some of my friends. But, as you know, also, King Elias Acorn is actually my cameraman for a lot of these things, so thank you very much, King, for helping me with that. But also, exploring worlds, just doing a world exploration is also cool too. Because this is another way for people to kind of chill out. Sometimes chill out events is actually all you need to put on something really good. And chill-out events can also be really neat. Um, because, well, they turn into something pretty cool. Let's go up top really quickly, and I'll show you something really quick. So we're standing here, actually, in a very interesting part of, my home world. This is kind of what some hangout worlds look like. They have a beer pong table, they have a drinking game behind me, oftentimes a television that is, like, showing some really cool stuff on it. But sometimes hanging out in a world like this is relatively simple. And it's also very calming too, especially with all the different colors and pictures and things like that. And sometimes some people just feel like just taking a load off, because you never know what people are doing. You never know if people, have a job where they had a great day or a not so great day or something different. I mean, it truly depends. So, a couple of things to keep in mind is this. If you want to go for, switching around different worlds, that's totally fine. And of course, you'll be able to appease everybody, including these type of people. See if you know, what type of people these guys are. Yeah, hey there, friend. Yeah, I'm ready for some fun. Oh, hi there, sweetie. Oh, you're looking so nice. You look so beautiful. Yeah, well, you know what? Right now, I kind of feel really good in this position. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll just go over here. All right. Yeah, here. I'll just put myself somewhere. Even the eternally locked into Go Go Loco people are going to have a fun time. But again, there's going to be some people that are going to be there that may not participate in all the fun because they tend to talk to a lot of people. Don't worry so much about them, because sometimes those people are there just for moral support. But at some point, they will actually go with you, and they'll actually do an event with you. But again, you can also go to a game world and you can actually, play some beer pong or do like a drinking game of some sort. And of course, this is fake drinking, so don't worry too much about that. But again, there are so many things at your fingertips. You just have to unlock your creativity, and who knows, maybe you might be able to actually host your own event someday. And then, of course, at the end of every event, you need a little bit of cool down. Because believe me, when you've done so many things, so many events, and, you had a grand old time with your friends, sometimes you literally just need to go to your home world and just kind of simmer down a little bit. Cool down a bit. Whether it was a good night or a bad night or something else. Because if you just leave an event and you haven't had a chance to kind of like cool off a bit, or, just wind down, chances are you're going to have a hard time getting to sleep. And besides, some of you probably don't have a fox that you or a pet fox that you can pet and scratch. But either way, hopefully this do's and don'ts of event hosting is going to help you in your future endeavors, as well as also your future event planning. But that's going to do it for this episode of VRchat 101. If you guys want to see more of these, make sure you hit the like button, don't forget to comment, and also subscribe. And I'll see you folks next time. Until then, Mr. Foxy wants some pets. Don't you, buddy? Take care, everybody, and I'll see you next time.